Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode of my weekly playlist series. We are at another Friday, which means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I have been playing during the week, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on them, what I think of them. But I'd like to hear about your guys' thoughts, your opinions on the games I share with you, what you liked about them, maybe there's something you didn't like about them. I also want to hear about the games you guys are playing, as that gives me some great ideas of games to check out. And I really appreciate everyone that shares with me what games they have been playing lately. And if you guys have recommendations for any games you think I should play, please let me know, as I'm always looking for new games to try. And I really appreciate everybody who has suggested some really good games here. And actually, two of these games this week I'm playing are, again, recommendations from my good buddy Dean, who told me to check them out. So I actually have a brand new game that I actually just picked up yesterday and started playing. And then I have one that I continued from last week. I have taken a break from playing the Cloudpunk game, as this week has just been really busy and challenging for me, as I've been putting in overtime at work. And on my days off, I've been actually sleeping in just because I've been really tired and doing other stuff, so I haven't had a whole lot of time for gaming. But I did squeeze in some time to play a little bit of both of these games for the Xbox One, and I'm still on a kind of an Xbox One kick lately. I've been playing a lot of Xbox One games in the last few weeks, and actually the last couple of months here. So we'll get started here. First up is Necromunda Hired Gun, which this is an awesome first-person shooter set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. In Necromunda, which I'll read you guys the back book. It says, become the ultimate hired gun, navigate an ocean of crime and corruption in an indie, fast-paced, violent, and thrilling FPS set in the darkest reaches of Warhammer 40,000's most infamous hive city. So you're not going to have like Space Marines or anything like that in this Necromunda series. And what was really cool is my buddy at work, he's really big into the Warhammer lore and stuff. He mentioned this, and so did Nick T. Wolf, that Necromunda is actually about like tribal-based factions fighting each other. And so Nick T. Wolf had asked me if there was any, like, you were running any kind of like gang or anything like that, and you do not. And my buddy at work was telling me that the Necromunda campaigns and stuff in the tabletop Warhammer 40,000 are like smaller scale battles, so they're not as big as how epic some of those battles can be. And he said it's like a much more intimate battling experience and much shorter campaigns and stuff compared to what the longer ones are. Just because I'm pretty much a noob when it comes to the Warhammer 40,000. I'm not very well versed in the lore or anything. I know it's absolutely massive and huge. I just enjoy playing the games, which one of the games I played was the Space Marine game for Xbox 360. But I never really played the tabletop game, and it's nothing that I had actually really gotten into really hard. However, my buddy Dean had recommended these different Warhammer games to me, and I've been checking them out, and I've been really enjoying them, and I really do love this game. This actually came out digitally earlier in the year, but they recently released it in July physically for only $39.99, and definitely one of those games that kind of got a small print run. So if you're looking to get a physical copy, I would recommend getting it now rather than later, as I don't know how long, easy this game is going to be able to find down the road. Like my local GameStop here has one copy of it left for Xbox One and one for the PS4. They sold out of PS5 copies, and my local game stores actually have sold out of copies of this. I actually pre-ordered mine on GameStop.com, and it came to me. And I did get the pre-order bonus DLC, which is some little cosmetic content. And it was actually on the disc, and there was no code or anything. So the Xbox One version has the DLC built into the disc itself, where the PS4 one actually was a code that was supposed to be printed on the receipt when you pre-ordered it. Which you can still buy, you just have to pay a few dollars for it. But it was kind of annoying hearing that, they didn't put it on the disc for the Sony version. So I don't know why they did that, but the Xbox One does come with the DLC built on the disc. Really fun first-person shooter. So you're a hired gun, basically. Somebody's hired you to do some missions. You end up getting betrayed, and you got to figure out who the hell that person is as you blast through tons of different missions and kicking ass. Huge variety of weapons too. I love that. There's just, you've got shotguns, you got machine guns, you got pistols, you've got rifles, You also got some kind of like laser weapons, and I've just discovered some really sweet weapons. They have like normal weapons, but then they also have like epic and like legendary weapons. They'll have different colors on them, and of course you have weapons that do different damage and stuff. And the game is broke up into different chapters for the main story, but there's also little side missions that you can do as you progress through the story. You actually can take them on as challenges and stuff to unlock loot and other content and stuff that you can do along with the main campaign, which is really cool. You also have a really sweet dog, a big Mastiff, and he's somebody that you can summon at different times while you're fighting, and he comes in really handy because you can send him out to attack enemies. And when he's activated, he actually highlights all the enemies in red, so you can actually see them through walls and see where the enemies are coming, because this game is definitely not easy. You have a ton of enemies thrown at you at a time, and they will flank you and swarm you and jump around. There's a variety of enemy types. You have like your standard guys, but then you have some that have powers that can shoot like lightning thing attacks at you and electric blasts. You have guys who can teleport around, guys that can fly, big giant dudes who can huck like fireball attacks at you, and some actually are equipped with electric ability, and they can shock you from a distance, and enemies will throw grenades at you and stuff and switch up tactics around you, and like I said, you know, flanking and stuff. So you really have to be on your game fighting enemies, and also, you know, switch weapons and use different weapons for certain enemy types and stuff. The game does have some portions where you can actually go stealth, and you can actually do takedowns is what they're called, and you can actually do takedowns in the middle of combat, which is another trick I would recommend for you guys. Is if you get swarmed by enemies, run up to them and hit the X button, and you can actually one-hit melee kill enemies, and it's really sweet. Some of the animations, your dude will like grab a gun and shoot him in the head, or he'll beat him to death a bunch of times with their weapon, or he'll take their weapon and shoot him with it, or he'll take his knife out and he'll stab him through the head or through the neck and stuff. It's really violent, bloody, and gory. I just love it. It's just awesome. The levels are designed really well too. I love the set pieces. You know, it's so dark and gritty in this hive city, and it's just really awesome detailed work on the textures and everything, and I'm just really love the game. It's just really fun. Your character runs really quickly, and what's great is you can actually upgrade him with cybernetic implants and stuff, where he has like a metal arm and legs and stuff, and change optical stuff on him. And as you do that, it actually changes your appearance. Of course, you can't really see yourself because it's first-person shooter, but you're enhancing your body. Well, you can do the same thing for your big Mastiff dog as well, where he looks like a normal dog, but as you upgrade him with those robotic parts and stuff, he starts looking really gnarly and stuff, and can start having like metal jaws and stuff, and have red eyes that can see things. And so you can actually level him up as well and make him stronger. And now if you have the DLC that I have, you have a little squeak toy, which is actually what calls your dog, and mine looks like a little dude, and you just squeeze it and makes a squeaky noise, and then your dog shows up, and then he'll go around and attack. And he has a cooldown meter because he's only able to go out for so long. He'll attack enemies and kill them for you, and then you have a cooldown meter you'll see with his picture, and it'll have a little red bar, and as it gets around, once it loads up again, then you're able to summon him, so you can't just constantly spam him. But he definitely comes in handy, and I've used him quite a bit through the first 4 chapters of the game, which I'm actually on chapter 5 right now. And I like that there actually are some choices you can make during the campaign which affect characters and stuff. And you guys know I don't like to really ruin story or anything, so I don't go too much in depth in that, but I have been really enjoying the story as well. It has wonderful voice actors. You know, they pick people that really fit the characters well, so I do like the voice actors in the game. The music is just awesome, heavy metal music playing, and intense firefight and battle scenes just really gets your adrenaline pumping and makes you want to go around and kick people's asses and blow them away. It's just really cool. You can actually die in this game, and then you can be revived. You only have like 3 revives. You also have so many health kits and stuff. And one way you can actually regain health is by getting out there and killing enemies. So sometimes, you know, you have to just fight through it and kill enemies so you can regain your health that they lost from you and stuff. Pull off tricks. Every chapter actually has a set number of chests to find, and those chests are worth trying to track down. You actually can hear they make a noise when you get close to them, and you want to try to find them because they are hidden, and some can have like 9 in a mission, some might only have 5. But as you find those, you'll actually find epic loot, and sometimes you can find some really awesome weapons in there, which you can immediately equip, or when you beat the mission, you can then decide to keep them or sell them off. So at the end of every chapter you beat, you get rated from an S ranking all the way down to like a D ranking. That depends on how long it took you to play, how skillful you were, how many enemies you killed, how much health you lost, that kind of thing, and the game ranks you on that. But then you also have the equipment which you get to keep if you find in the different levels. Sometimes enemies will drop them, sometimes they'll be just laying around, you'll find them in the chests and stuff, and that's how you can unlock new weapons and stuff for your character. And at the end, you can make sure you choose and take your time too at the end of the missions to go through all the loot you found, because if you don't take the loot, you only have so many slots for that you can save stuff in. Like you'll have your weapons, a rifle or something, you can have like 4, and your special weapons you might have like 3 or 4, and you got to make sure you put them in there, because if you don't, it'll tell you everything that you don't take with you gets sold into credits, because you use those credits to buy upgrades, use those credits to buy weapons, attachments for weapons, because you can enhance your weapons, better better damage. You can make them have better barrels. You can change the ammo type, make them do better damage against certain enemy types and stuff. So you do have customization available, and so those credits are key. And throughout the mission, you'll find credits in the world, so you can collect those as well to unlock new abilities and stuff too, which you also can unlock abilities for your character when you augment him, and you can get different powers like slowing down time and shooting and stronger melee attacks and stuff. And so I haven't fully explored all the customization options yet, but there's a lot of them out there, and it's just really awesome, and I'm really enjoying this game. I'm glad that I picked it up, and it's one that I'm actually having a lot of fun with, and I do want to beat it. And I know I'm going to beat it more than once, because I did not get all the chests and stuff in those different chapters, so I have missed some stuff, so I'll have to get a guide, because I remember one of them had like 9 of them, and I only got 7 or 8 of them, so I missed a couple. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do have to warn you that there are some parts in some of the levels where you have to be really careful, where there are fall hazards. And as you're running around, because your guy runs really fast, you can accidentally fall off and die and get killed, after being so careful not to get hit by enemies and stuff, and dodging them around, that you end up accidentally falling off, which happened to me once. It kind of sucked. Your character does have a double jump, which is really cool, and then he also has a grappling hook that you unlock, which you can use to grapple up into higher areas and jump around and stuff, which is really sweet. You can also use it to take shields away from enemies, because there are some enemies who carry shields which will block your fire and your bullets and stuff, and so you can pull that out of their hands so that they're vulnerable to your bullets and stuff. So that's something that's really cool. Definitely recommend you guys check out Necromunda Hired Gun. It's a really fun first-person shooter. It's only $40 brand new, and they had talked about some DLC possibly being planned for this game, so I hope they really do release some DLC for it, as I would love to continue playing this game after the main story. It'd be awesome if they add some new campaign stuff to it, which would definitely be cool. So make sure you guys check out Necromunda Hired Gun. Really fun game. You can get Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, and the PC. Very cool game. And the other one here, other game, is another one that was recommended by my buddy Dean, and that is Aliens Fireteam Elite. I actually just bought this yesterday on Thursday. It had been released on Tuesday the 24th. I did not pre-order this game because I was kind of on the fence about picking it up. Wasn't sure if it was a game that I was going to really enjoy and want to play through, so I was kind of, am I going to get it or not? And Dean had been telling me about it for the last couple of days and sending me videos to check out, so I watched quite a few videos and saw that it did look like something I would enjoy, and so I actually picked it up. I got it at GameStop. It was $39.99 brand new. There is a deluxe, a digital deluxe edition that's $70. They get you the season pass, but it looks like the season pass is pretty much just all cosmetic stuff. Doesn't look like there's any new like campaigns at all. And so I'll read you guys a little information here on the back. So it says, fight hordes of deadly xenomorphs, discover hidden corporate secrets, and explore ancient alien ruins across 4 unique campaigns in the Alien universe. And every campaign actually has 3 missions within it, so there's a total of 12 missions to go through for the story mode. And then it says, join an elite fire team as your own colonial marine aboard the UAS Endeavor. So the USS Endeavor is a big, giant military ship similar to the USS Sulaco that was in the Aliens movie. So pretty cool. You get that. And it's an experienced 3-player co-op. So you can fight with friends or AI teammates. So this game is built around playing co-op, but you can play it single player with 2 AI bots, and the 2 AI companions you get are actually synthetic android combat units. And what's unique about these guys is that they do talk, but you can clearly see that they're androids, as they have blue rubber skin and they have blue eyes, and they're not very sophisticated androids like if you compare them to how like Bishop was in Aliens or Ash in the original Alien movie. So I was a little disappointed that you had to have these synthetic companions and they didn't just pick 2 random Marines to be with you, because I feel that would have had more character to it, but it is what it is. What's cool though is that when you start the game, you actually get to choose how your Marine looks like, and you can be either a male or a female, and you can change different faces. There's like, I think, 10 different face styles, and you can change eye color, and you can change hairstyle and hair color and skin tone and stuff like that. It's not as deep customization for characters as some other games are, but it's still pretty decent, and you can make the character kind of look how you want. You can also have your character wear a couple different helmets or go without a helmet. I do agree with the complaints that some other people had mentioned, is that none of the Marines have the shoulder lights like they had in the Aliens movie, so that was kind of disappointing. And I didn't see any real decals for your uniform, but I do know you can actually unlock decals and stuff throughout the game, so maybe as I get further in the game I might actually unlock those, as there are different suit looks you can get besides the real basic ones that you have. So after you make your character, you start off on the ship, which is like the big main hub, and you can go around and interact with different characters, and that's where you can load missions and stuff. But there's also different characters to interact with to buy new weapons and upgrade your character. As you play the game, you unlock experience points, and you can use that to, with your credits, you can use that to buy upgrades and stuff for your character. And you also will be able to unlock new weapons and stuff. So the game does have 5 different classes. So I'll read you guys here back. So it says, survive the Hive, battle against over 20 iconic enemies. So there are 20 different xenomorphs in the game, which is cool. And then there's 5 unique classes with 30 plus weapons. So you have 4 classes unlocked at the beginning. You have the Gunner, which is basically your standard combat guy that has rifle, shotgun, handgun, grenades, and perks and stuff for that. Then you have the Demolitioner, who has a rifle, but then he has the big smart gun. He can also use grenade launchers and flamethrowers and stuff. He has a really cool I can't remember what it's called now, but he has this big little machinery piece on his shoulder. He can actually shoot off like little explosive missiles, and that really comes in handy when he gets swarmed by enemies. And he also has another ability where he can throw an item down and it'll blast enemies away from you and stun them, which is really cool. Then you have the Technician, who does technical officer, who's limited to a handgun and like a shotgun, but they're able to deploy a lot of sentry units and drones and stuff to help support your team. And then the next class you have is the Doc, which is a doctor who has a pulse rifle and handgun and stuff, but they also are able to heal team members and stuff. And so when you're playing it co-op with actual people, you know, you want to play different kinds of roles so that you can better assist your team. You don't want to have 3 of the same people. You want to have you want to be diversified with different classes. And there is a 5th one called a Recon class, which you actually unlock if you beat the 4 campaigns. And another thing that's really cool to unlock is there is a Horde mode, which if you guys have played Gears of War, you know, that Horde modes. And a lot of people compared this game as Gears of War with Aliens, which is exactly how I would call it, because it really does play a lot like Gears. It's third-person shooter. You can get into cover and stuff. There's a part where you can get knocked down, where you show it's like a down but not out, and they have a meter and people can revive you, so just like Gears. And if you all go down, then you fail the mission. So you do have that. So it does remind me a lot of Gears of War, and I am really enjoying it so far. I've just played through the first campaign, and I beat the very first 2 missions. Now this game does have 5 different difficulty settings, from casual, standard, and there's like a hard mode, and there's like a extreme, and then like an insane mode. In order to unlock those 2 higher difficulties, you have to beat the whole campaign. So similar like how Gears of War was, you had to beat the game on normal or hardcore before you could unlock the insane difficulty. And so that's the same thing, you know. And this is one of those games where it wants you to play through the different missions over and over. And of course, they don't change or anything, but they are still fun to run through. One tip too, my buddy Dean was telling me, is that especially if you're playing solo, is you should really stick to just one of those classes and keep playing as that class, because every time you play that class, you level up. Now you have an overall level up with, regardless of which class you play, you level up your character, but you also level up those certain classes, and by leveling them up, you start unlocking perks, and those come very key as you get further along in the game, because the game gets really difficult. I actually died twice on the second mission. Just there's some real hairy parts where enemies just swarm me, and after playing through a few times, I learned some enemy patterns, and I just learned what did I do wrong there, and I was able to correct my mistakes. So playing this solo is really difficult, because it really is made for co-op, and I'm just playing on the standard difficulty, so I couldn't imagine playing on the higher difficulties, because one of the things they warn you about is if you play on higher difficulties, there's actually friendly fire that occurs. Because if you play on the low difficulty, you can shoot, you won't hurt your own teammates, but you play those higher difficulty levels, you will. And the AI companions aren't the best in the world, but they do help you out. They will revive you, and they do get quite a few kills, because every mission there's several hundred aliens to kill. And what I really like is at the end of the mission, you get rated, and it tells the 3 people what their stats are, who got the most kills, who did the most revives. So it has similar things to how stats like Gears of War did. And I'm actually surprised at how much customization is available for your weapons, because you start with basic weapons, but you can actually find new weapons. Like I said, there's over 30 of them, and you can actually upgrade with mods, like get better damage, get extra magazines, change the barrels, change the fire rate, things like that, add attachments and stuff to it. So I do like there's a lot of stuff in the game to customize, and it'll keep you coming back and playing. People said depending on what difficulty setting, you could probably beat this campaign in about 8 hours. The first 2 missions I played, each one took me about 40 minutes to beat, from the start to the finish. It's not too bad of a game. Like I said, it's only 40 bucks. Would I recommend picking it up right now? Only if you really want to get it physically, because this did have another small physical print run. So this is one of those games that's going to get harder to find in the future. But if you're, not too sure you're going to enjoy the game, or you don't really want to spend 40 bucks right now, you may want to wait till it drops to like 20 or 30 bucks. Because I'm sure at some point it will. Of course, it's available digitally. And like I said, there is that $70 deluxe edition, which I definitely don't believe that's worth it at all for purely cosmetic stuff. If it was, to come with more campaigns, I would definitely jump on it. So I'm going to wait on getting any DLC for this until the devs mention if there's going to be actual campaign added to it or not. Because, paying another $35 isn't worth it just for changing the way your characters look, or adding in different weapon skins or something. For me, not worth it. So we'll see when that time comes for that. But overall, I am enjoying Aliens Fireteam Elite, and I am glad that I picked it up. And I want to thank Dean for recommending it to me. Definitely think you guys should check it out, as it is a fun third-person shooter that plays similar to Gears of War, but set in the Alien franchise. What's really cool is this game does take place like 30 years after Alien 3, and it also takes place after Alien Isolation, and there are some Easter eggs and stuff from Alien Isolation and the Aliens movie and other Aliens games in this. And I actually found one of the Easter eggs on Mission 2, which I don't want to ruin for anybody, because you guys know I don't like to ruin story, but it was really cool to see something from Alien Isolation in this game. And there's also some intel files and those little collectibles you can find through the campaigns. And when you go back to your ship, you actually can talk to characters, and they'll actually give you some backstory on different corporations and different things that had happened in the universe since the Alien movie. So it's really cool, and I like some of the hidden Easter eggs they have in there. I did want to mention that the music is pretty good. The weapons sound very good. You know, they sound like they did in the Aliens movie, so they did get the different pulse rifle sounds right and stuff like that. Smart gun. So I was really glad that they did pay attention to details like that. So definitely check out Aliens Fireteam Elite. I think you guys will enjoy it. We'll do our quick little recap like we always do. I talked about Necromunda Hired Gun. This is an awesome first-person shooter set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It's brutal, violent, gory, graphic. It's just awesome. Has great voice acting, huge variety of weapons. You can level up your character, you can level up your dog, upgrade weapons and stuff. Has kick-ass heavy metal music, gets your adrenaline going as you kick ass in the game. Definitely you guys should check it out. And we also talked about Aliens Fireteam Elite, which is a 3-person co-op third-person shooter, which plays similar to like the Gears of War games. Really fun so far. Has 4 campaigns with a total of 12 missions to go through. You could beat it probably about 8 hours. Definitely not easy when you play it single player, but I am having a lot of fun with it, and I may end up playing co-op with a friend or two down the road, but definitely recommend checking them out. Let me know if you guys have played either Necromunda or Aliens Fireteam. I'd like to know your guys' opinions on these. I also want to hear about the games you guys are playing, and if you have any recommendations on a game you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys always do recommend really good games. I want to thank you for watching. Take care. Have an amazing day. Sleep, and we'll see you next time.